Good morning, first grade reader friends. I'm so excited about the book we're reading today. Before we begin, let's work on our nonsense words. Just like we did the last time we were together, we are going to spend some time looking at some different nonsense words this time. There we go. All right, so let's take a look at this first line. Remember how we read nonsense words with the slide. So if I were going to sound this one out, I would say mon, d, p, dop. Now your turn, ready? So if you said rot, dub, mag, you are correct. Let's do this next one. You read these, and then I'll go back over them to make sure you read all of the sounds in the vowels and the consonants. So this first one is g, I, b, gib, op, reg, wob, nim. Okay, at this point, if you want to pause the video, I would love it if you would go through the rest of these lines of nonsense words and make sure you understand all of the sounds in all of the words. Now we're going to get started on our book. And this book is very interesting. I went and grabbed this book and this book because when I looked at this book, it reminded me of these two books that I have. They are written by an author whose name is Brian Selznick. Now you're looking at these and you're going, no way, Miss Sunshine, look at how thick that book is. There is no way I would ever read that book. But the reason that these books are so interesting is because this author not only writes the book, but he illustrates them with these amazing illustrations. And do you notice how there are no words on these illustrated pages? That is because he's telling stories with pictures. Brian Selznick's books are not classified as graphic, well, maybe they are classified as graphic novels. This book that we're going to read is called Your Turn, Adrian. It's written by Helena Oberg, and it was illustrated by Kristen Lindstrom. And this book is technically called a graphic novel or a graphic book. And the reason being is because the pictures tell a lot of stories. So you need to be ready to pause your video as we read this book because there are a lot of pages where there isn't anything for you to read. There are just pictures for you to look at. And I want you to really take the time to look at them because the illustrator, Kristen Lindstrom, is an amazing artist. There is another thing you need to know about this book is that it was not originally written in the English language. It was translated by Eva Alpequist, and I don't know what language it was originally written in, but she took the time to convert it from whatever language it was originally written in to English. So if at any point you want to pause the video so you can really look at the pictures so that you understand what's going on in this graphic novel, then pause the video and I'm going to point to words that you will read to me on each of these pages. Now, this is a really interesting table of contents. Right off the bat, we can see that this is different from other books we've read. So this is the first chapter, Before I Met Heidi. Then we have Heidi, and then there's something going on over here with this dog. I think Heidi is the dog. We're going to read and find out. So let's move on to our first page. Take a look at this character and how our illustrator has captured this character. Chapter 1. Ready? You read the title to me. Again, if you want to pause so that you can figure out what's going on in this story, the way graphic novels work is we can see what looks like a large building, could be a school building, and there's these big gates, and then we come down on the ground level and we recognize this character, and there's the gates in the background, and there's some children playing what appears to be a soccer game. And then we get to look at a different perspective or a different view. There's that same character, and he is walking toward the building, and these girls over here are playing with a jump rope. So do you understand how you're reading this book, but not so much in words, you're reading this book in pictures today. All right, you're gonna read this first caption to me. Ready? So we know that our character has gone to school. Let's take a look at this caption. Ready? And then down below, read that first line. Sometimes the teacher asked me a question. Okay, let's read what he is saying. That's the teacher. And this is what our character is seeing when she's asking him to read. She says, it's your turn, Adrian. So we know our main character's name is Adrian. And then do you see what he says down here at the bottom? Read that line to me. And then read this page. Now let's take a look at this illustration. There are two words outside this circle illustration. Time stopped. That's a very short sentence. Well, let's look at these speech bubbles. Now, if you were going to predict how the character is feeling, what would you say this character is feeling? What emotion is Adrian experiencing? Does he seem like he has a lot of friends and he's a happy student? No. He seems like he's a bit picked on. Seems like he's really struggling with his schoolwork, and he does not seem very happy at all. In this picture, he's happy. Look at this artist's use of color in this picture. The first time we met Adrian, he was in black and white. So if I were to ask you, does Adrian have a lot of friends that he gets to play with at school? What would you tell me based on the information you get by looking at these illustrations? If you said he's pretty lonely, I agree. He seems like he's pretty lonely. Read the words at the bottom of this page. And now let's read this speech bubble. We're introduced to a new character. Who do you think the character is? Do you think it's his dad or a trusted adult? And let's read this page. Ooh, another character gets introduced. If we read the page, we know that the character we're seeing in this illustration is his mom. Are you pausing if you want to keep looking at the pictures? Because they're really good ones. This is our second part to the book that we saw in our table of contents, Heidi. Read this first page. And this page. Can you see Adrian in this picture? Pause. All right, let's look at this page. Very interesting. Adrian has gone and gotten something to eat. Can you see from the illustration what he got to eat? Let's read this speech bubble. And this page. If you are reading it correctly, you see that he is sharing his ice cream with this new character, Heidi. Take a look at this page. Again, we see our illustrator switching to a much more colorful way of capturing what this character is going through. Let's read this page. And over here in this white font, and now this speech bubble. And this page. Let's read how Heidi felt. And now let's read what Adrian can feel. Now this page. Do you think that the illustrator has begun to feel that the illustrator is trying to help us understand that Adrian has begun to feel more happy? What clues does our illustrator give us? If you said that all of a sudden our black and white pictures have gone into colorful pictures, and that makes me feel happy, that's how it makes me feel too. Let's read the third part of this book, The Reader. Go ahead and read this page. And then this one. Ooh, something has happened on this page. What happened in this story? If you said that Heidi found her owner, you're correct. It looks like this woman is who Heidi belongs to. Oh dear, we are back to black and white pictures. That tells me that maybe Adrian is no longer feeling as happy as he did when Heidi was with him. This is a really sad page. Without Heidi, my heart was empty. Pause if you want to keep looking at these pictures. There's so much going on here. And now we have another change in the storyline. Read this page. And this one. Looks like he's making a new friend and we're being introduced to a new character. We don't know her name yet. Let's see if she tells us her story. Do you know what it means to be blind, first grade friends? Someone who is blind means that they can't see, or they can only see a little bit. Sometimes they can see light or shadows. Oh, it looks like Adrian is making a very kind choice. What do you think we are looking at in these illustrations? Read this page. Do you think maybe Adrian is getting a chance to see his new friend when she was younger, before she became blind? What type of work did Heidi's owner do before, when she was younger? If you said circus work, it kind of looks like it, doesn't it? I hope you enjoyed reading Your Turn, Adrian. I sure did enjoy looking at the pictures for this book. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.